So what do you mean by sustainable agriculture? What is actually what does it mean?
Sustainability as a concept for the society means that today we should live in a way that it should not conflict with the future possibility of continuing that development.
Okay.
So in development concept, sustainable development means that we do not, that say that we have borrowed the earth from our children and our children should get a better earth than we got, rather than the other way around. We take the earth and we deplete it and relieve the resources. So Father is giving the son little more than what he got as capability, education, etc. And that continues. So that concept in not only in agriculture, in transport, in cities, there are many things which are considered development, but that kind of development is not sustainable if the means by which we got that development does not. For example, in agriculture, we need a lot of water. Today, in India, originally we started with only rainwater. Then in the 40s and 50s, in the 50s and 60s, our emphasis was on building dams. We said we need big dams and big canals. That was Nehru's dream. And he was calling the dams as the temple of modern India. So we destroyed many villages, we uprooted many people and created that. But by around mid-60s, when the actual Green Revolution started in India, it started with wheat, making areas like Western UP, Punjab, Haryana, and later on, about 3-4 years later, it also went into rice. How to grow dwarf rice. Now, it was not whole state also. Part of Odisha, part of West Bengal, part of Tamil Nadu. These were chosen as the lead districts for producing high yielding variety. The real name should be high response variety. Sustainability of agriculture and Green Revolution.
Right.
The Green Revolution technology was essentially a input-intensive agriculture. So it needs the height of the paddy or wheat should be short, less straw but more grains. That was the idea. And this was made possible by hybridization of seeds. So it was called high yield variety. It was not really high yield variety, it was high response variety. That means it responds better to higher doses of pesticide and fertilizer. First fertilizer, and then because use fertilizer, then the resistance to disease was lowered down, and so more and more pesticide. And so the reason this was, why this was, that motive we can discuss some other time, but that is more a political discussion because there can be many interpretations.
Right.
The essential condition is that after doing some time, it was also not only fertilizer and pesticide that was imported, and so it became subsidy incentive, lot of subsidies for, so only for some crops, not for other. Seed was subsidized, fertilizer was subsidized, pesticide was subsidized. But also water and water pumping, electricity cost, that was subsidized. Now, water, once it became limited, people started pumping from deep underground. 80% of the water which is pumped up in India all today is used for agriculture alone. So, and just to make rice in a dry area like Punjab or Haryana or something, where natural rain is not happening at the time, at the season when the rice is growing, it is more or less all by groundwater. We can understand later on if necessary, we can discuss, but just to give an example, just to produce 1 kilo of rice, we need 4,000 to 5,000 liters of water. 1 kilo.
Only 1 kilo.
And that, and about 3 kilos of wheat. So, with that same water, we can grow 10 times that amount of peanuts or mustard oil or something.
Okay.
So, much of the dryland crops in central of India, they can easily grow 10 times the area you can grow with the same. But because of the policy, now this is unsustainable, because what happens when the deep groundwater, we go deeper and deeper. First we dig 100 meter, then 150 meter, then 200 meter. Then cost becomes more, and also there is no more water. Because the water to go here, it takes maybe 3 months. To go here, it may take 1 year. To grow here, it may take 5 years. So the deeper we are taking, the older water we are using.
Okay.
So it takes the time it takes for the water to be replaced, the water we are taking up, it will take, we are using 10 years ago rainfall.
So now coming to the next question.
So that becomes, that makes it one example of why it becomes unsustainable. So it means that what has no future. In that way it is unsustainable. Unsustainable because the time it takes to create the resource and the time it takes to use the resource, the disproportionate thing about that.
Okay.
Now there are other problems that we understand that we did not understand that time. That one way unsustainability is that because we use fertilizer and water, we have to use much more. So same time crop will grow and the weed will also grow. And some pest will also come attracted by the greenish rice all the time. So we started using more and more pesticide and herbicide. The pesticide and herbicide that started killing the beneficial insect like bees. So their population, and therefore not rice, because rice is wind pollinated, but many crops which are depollinated, their production,
Come down.
and also the for like where it is natural wetland like West Bengal, the rice field, paddy field, was not just for producing rice. Around it, crab, shrimp, fish, many other things. For them, it was home. We poisoned their home. So that much food. So actually, rice production increased and food production decreased.
Okay.
That's dilemma. So more and more rice and less food, and especially the food which the farm labor, which the poorer people are eating all the time. So this has never been officially discussed very much, that whether this can be replaced by this major artificial fish or artificial bee box or something, that we don't need any more natural because
Right.
we have. So this is another way it is.
Unsustainable.
Yeah, and therefore, not only we had the problem that they had to be imported at high cost, also that to get same production, we have to kill more and more insects, and we have to use more and more insecticide and more fertilizer. So every year, so if to get 10 kg increase fertilizer, 10 kg increase production, we need 1 kg fertilizer. Now we may need 4 kg of fertilizer to get only 10 kg increment. So it is not as if the soil natural fertility. So you are eating good food, but your stomach digestion capacity is getting slowly
Okay.
gone. So that digestion capacity is question of your health. So your soil health is becoming poor, and you are living on medicine.
Right.
That becomes unsustainable. So these are some examples of why it is unsustainable.
Okay.